Hello, I am the Dungeon Tutor. Welcome. Since 2016, I've been answering your questions, giving advice and inspiration to countless gamers. Here, you can ask questions in the comments and get your own videos as an answer. So I encourage you, enjoy by all means, but come back to visit with your friend, the Dungeon Tutor. Hello friends, I am the Dungeon Tutor. Welcome! Today is day 24 of RPGaDay. Getting close to the end. Today's topic is reveal. Okay? As a topic goes, revelations are important in a role-playing game. Everything you as a game master relate to your players is something of a revelation. Sometimes it's expected. Sometimes there are surprises. Sometimes that revelation of what's beyond that door, what's over that horizon, becomes their entire focus of the next however long of a session it takes for them to resolve what you reveal. And that is something that a game master has, one of the powers they have, is to utterly guide the course of whatever the night is going to be based on what they choose or are compelled to give to their players as information. And I think that generally we game masters really enjoy that. We enjoy being the ones to hand out new vistas for our players, new things for them to experience and encounter. But our players never get it fast enough. They always want more and more and more, quite frequently. There are some who are content to just take whatever you give, but a lot of the advantages and abilities that characters have give them the opportunity to gain more information than one would first acquire. And that is often the difference between successful adventuring groups and those who constantly stumble through setback after setback after setback. A revelation to your group based on the qualities of their character makes your players feel good. If, for example, you have a character like a warlock, say. The party suspects them. They are unsavory companions, but powerful enough and necessary enough in what they do that the group keeps them around. Well, that player may feel a bit put out from time to time, as their character is maybe mocked, reviled, generally made to feel like they are only tolerated rather than a boon member of the group. Well, Game Master, you have a lot to say about that. Even though you can generally leave the dynamics of a group up to the individual players, you can also help by elevating the importance of each character in time. And how do you do that? Revelations. If, for example, the group finds that the infernally powered warlock that they have is just this far away from ever being kicked out of the group because they truck around with demons and devils and things. That's their stock and trade, and maybe their characters might be, holy priests and paladins and the like, and this character is just tolerated and that's it. Well, those characters aren't likely to know a lot about demonic lore and the like, and that warlock might. So, if you put in, as a game master, a wrinkle here and there that the expertise of that warlock comes to the fore on, how much is that going to put a dent in some of those intolerances? When your warlock's knowledge of the infernal, the enemy that the others hold, their inside knowledge might come to the fore and really help out the group. Now, yes, if the player is running their character as a despicable person and just gloats over their lore and doesn't share it, well, then you've tried. That's about all I can say to that. I've seen that happen before. But if you give your players these revelations, these inside bits of knowledge based on who they are and what makes them special, that is, to that character possibly, more valuable than the obvious details that you leave out. So, if a thief comes to an area and you just tell them, because of your expertise, you can see this area would be the perfect area for traps. I'm not telling you they're there, But I'm just telling you, this warren looks like it's riddled with the possibilities of traps. There are obvious places where you are almost forced to walk through. Be a great place for a trap. There are all these signs of criminal organizations, perhaps, that your character is privy to, telling you that this area is trapped ahead. Now, with traps, you still have to do your work, but letting everybody know, hey, there's going to be traps coming up. It's almost a given. They'd be stupid if they didn't put traps there. Your rangers and druids. The wild has a bounty of information. And that's why I generally encourage, for example, the spell Druidcraft, to give a really good general sense of the nature and their influences in the area. And if there are things like an ambush being set up by bandits, that's a distortion. That's a vibration the druids can have. It won't give them all the answers. They still need to do the work, but it will tell them there's something of danger here, and we should take that seriously. It's distorting the local wildlife. I can tell from the cries of creatures that they're being disturbed by something that is a threat also to us. That can be really useful. As well as natural nature skills and the like. Giving out bonus skill checks to give information that the character is likely to notice even if the player doesn't ask for them. Or if you want, which I am guilty of doing, creating a passive statistic for some of the abilities, like nature as a skill for rangers. Giving them a passive nature check so that if anything comes up that they'd be likely to notice as dangerous, as a clue to something else, you know that character's up for it. And you can give them that information without having to roll, without having to distract the game, but letting them know, hey, because you are who you are and you're pretty cool and pretty special, you might know that. When the party defeats some foes and they collect up all the weapons and armor, the warriors of the group, due to their inimicable knowledge of weapons, armaments, and things like that, they might be the characters that you take. Hey, you notice that these weapons are from this area. If these creatures got a hold of these weapons, that place may be missing those weapons because something horrible might have happened. Or they might have stolen a shipment of weapons or some such. But you know more information that your training, your knowledge would give you. That's a revelation to them that may hook them into something more detailed or give them advanced warning that even the thickest warrior might still be able to puzzle out something out of that. And that lets everybody bring something new to the table. That lets them be celebrated by the group because their knowledge, their positioning is valuable beyond just however much damage they can do in a combat. Just a thought. Take it for what it's worth, but it honestly is good for the players to let them feel good about their characters. And if they always are taking a bashing from the other players, if their choices that they made may seem suboptimal sometimes, celebrate when it could come up and be handy. And I think you'll find your players will be that much more appreciative of your game and the effort that you put into making their characters be cool in your world. So, that's my suggestion. I hope you like it. I hope maybe you take it to heart. But I am the Dungeon Tutor, and that's what I do, try to help you out. So, if you like this idea and have others of your own, by all means, please leave in the comments. We would love to see them. And I would love to see you in future videos. So make sure that you hit the notification button so you see when I'm going to put out something new, as I will tomorrow. But I do hope to see you again. That's why I do these, and I do hope that between that next video and now that you, yes, you, get a chance to roll some dice, play some games, have some fun, but stay safe out there, friends. Until that next time, farewell.